going to do is have a look at using Outlook to actually set up an email account. So I'm going to go into my start button here, and I don't actually want to go through to my Metro screen on my Windows 8. So start button, I'm going to go to all programs, and I'm going to scroll down to my Microsoft Office folder here and click on Microsoft Office Outlook 2007. Okay, and that will actually open up my program. Now I've already got the system set up to accept a specific email for me, and what I'm going to do is go into Tools, and in Tools I go to Account Settings just here. So I want to add a new account, so I'm going to click on New. And I want to actually connect to an email account that's actually on the internet, and I'm going to actually connect to my new Yahoo email. So okay, pop my name in, and Ahmed Tutor at yahoo.com. That was the one I set up earlier. And I'm just going to go into my KeyPass system here. I'm going to copy my password, go back to my actual account here. There we go. And I'm going to put in my password twice. Okay, and I'm going to click Next. Now, if this is working for me, brilliant. It will automatically find my actual IT Mad Tutor Yahoo server settings, and it does it really, really quickly. I'm also going to show you how to do this with Gmail account as well, but they are basically plain sailing. If you actually use a different email system, I can actually show you one from a sort of web hoster. So now at the moment it has verified my network and it's found my server settings, but it doesn't particularly like my password for some reason, so I'm going to retry that. Okay, and there we go, and it should actually send through an email to my server. And again, this is highly dependent on whether your actual internet is actually working properly. We do have a problem here on the Isle of Wight with our emails, our actual internet dropping in and out like nobody's business, even at this time of night. Okay, if it doesn't work, it then goes to manually configure server settings. So we click Next, we're going to go Internet Email, and I'm going to click Next on that. If you notice here, it's already pre-populated the actual incoming mail server and the outgoing mail server, and it's got my username there. Now my username should be my full email address, so I'm just going to pop that in there. I want it to remember my password, and I'm going to go Test Account Settings. So it should actually log into my incoming mail server and then send a test email, and hopefully this is going to work. Okay, unfortunately I've had a little bit of a problem here where there's been an interruption to the server, which means that the internet's decided to drop out, although as you can see down here I've got full bar and it's actually fully accessed. I'm just going to close that. Now if you do find that this becomes a problem, what we can do is actually look at our outgoing servers. Now normally your outgoing server would require authentication, so I'm actually using the same settings as my incoming mail server, and we can also go to Advanced and we can actually alter our actual ports. Now set to use default, so I'm actually going to leave it and click OK, and I'm just going to test that again and we'll see what happens. Okay, what I've done, because there has been a little bit of an issue trying to get my Yahoo to actually come up in Outlook, I've actually Googled settings for yahoo.com emails in Outlook, and I've actually come up with this information about my server requires authentication. Now, if we just look at this here on 7, says click the advanced tab, and I actually need to make some alterations to that. So I'm just going to go back here. So I need to remember that I need to select in both cases for both SMTP and POP3 the SSL connection, which means Secure Server Locker, and I've also got 2 numbers here to enter. So first things first, we'll actually go back to this, close this down a minute, go to more settings, I'm going to go to advanced, and I'm going to click this server requires an encrypted connection, and you'll notice that it's auto-populated 995 in there in my port setting, and I'm going to do the same here. And with my SMTP, if I go back to the information I googled here, it's actually asking me for a port of 465. So I'm going to go back to that and enter in 465. Now, just before I close this down, there is a note about delivery here. It says leave a copy of the message on the server. Now, you can actually tick remove from the server after 10 days, or do what I normally would do, is remove from server when you've actually deleted the item from your deleted folder. That is a really good protective backup. So for example, if you downloaded absolutely everything from your email server online into your Outlook box on your computer, and your computer dies, you can still access your emails. So that's one of the benefits of actually having web-based emails. So I'm going to click OK on that, and I'm just going to have a go at testing this now. If everything works out okay, we've got a tick on the incoming email server, and it's actually sent an email. So that means that that's working properly. So that means that all my tests have been done, and what I need to do now is click next, and my end thing here says that I've successfully entered all the information required to set up my account. I can now click finish, and I close this down. Now you'll see here that my Yahoo account is set here, okay, and I can, if I want to, actually choose this as my default setting, and it actually swaps places. Okay, so I'm just going to go back to having that one set as my default. So that's actually setting up my email account for Yahoo. Okay, I'm now going to look at adding Gmail to your actual account. So here we go, we add new, go to our actual Microsoft Exchange POP3 IMAP, okay, and we click next, put my name in again. Oops. And my email address, so itmadtutor@gmail.com. Okay, so I need to go to my key pass, actually find my Gmail account here, copy my password and pop it into the actual email account settings here and here, and I click next. Now this should actually be as simple as setting up the Yahoo one, which we did a few minutes ago, and there we go. So hopefully it's actually sent a test email. Yep, so as you can see, this one is so simple to do. It's much simpler than even the Yahoo system. And if I just click finish here, and I've now got it listed into this. So as you can see, actually adding accounts to your systems can be very, very simple indeed. Last one I'm going to show you how to do is adding a non-standard webmail based system. So I've actually got my own hosting company that provides me with my own email settings. So I'm just going to show how easy it is to set this particular one up as well. Okay, so I'm going to put my business and my email address in. Right, and password is, if it's not in there, then it's the one I usually use. Okay, so I click next. Now, what should happen is it will actually throw this up as a no-go. So what I would do is, rather than trying to get it to configure it for me, I go back and I'm actually going to choose manually configure server settings. So I'm going to click next here, leave it at internet mail, and I'm going to go next. And I want to have a POP account. Now I know my settings for this are POP 1 and 1.co.uk, and they use a actual secure server locker system, so I need to authenticate my SMTP dot 1 and 1.co.uk. Okay, and I need to put in my username, which is my actual email address again, and my password, and I need it to remember my password. Okay, so I need to actually go into more settings in this case. Now my outgoing server actually requires authentication, so it needs to use the same settings as my mail server incoming. Okay, and I'm going to go to advanced. Now I know that with this I have to use SSL. It automatically sets the port, and in this case my actual company uses TLS. In this case I'm going to ask it to leave a copy of the message on my system and only remove from server when they're deleted. I'm going to go OK, and I'm going to test my account settings, and hopefully, if it's not playing up, which it is at the moment, save that to my password list. Right, for some reason it doesn't actually like my password, and I know it is the correct one. Now I'm just going to stop that for the moment and close it. But basically what you need to look for is, if you have your own email address via your hosting company, you need to check with them what your incoming mail server is and your outgoing mail server is. What I'll do is I'm just going to go click next and click finish on that. So as you can see, I've actually set up 3 new emails on here. The Yahoo and Gmail were very simple to do. Yahoo took a little bit more time. Gmail just sailed through without any issues at all. And my last one here just decided it wasn't going to work. So, okay, if you decide that you don't want these emails in your system, you can actually remove them, and it is as simple as highlighting your actual email address and click remove, and it'll ask you if you want to remove it, and in this case I'm going to click yes, and I'm going to click yes to removing my Gmail account. Personally, I prefer to actually go online and manage my emails, but if you like doing your emails on your computer and you want them all coming into one mailbox, which effectively what Microsoft Outlook does, it's a mailbox where everything comes in, this would be an ideal situation for you. and I'm just going to go close now. And if you want to check whether you've received any emails, you just click send and receive. And what we will notice here is this one, if I open it, is actually the test that was sent to my IT Mad tutor at yahoo.com. So it's also sent me 2 emails from Yahoo to welcome me to the thing. You'll notice that if there are any images based in your actual email letter, you'll get them coming up as crosses. But if you want to see the pictures, you just click here to download the pictures, and you can actually add your sender to safe senders list. So we choose that and just go OK, and there we go. So it's now actually showing up my email from Yahoo. And again, I've got another one here. I'm going to click OK, add sender to safe list, click OK, and there we are. Okay, so that is how simple it is when you actually want to add in an email to your Outlook Express folders.